Okay, so let's talk about another tool in my toolbox to help you reach all of your fat loss and health and fitness goals. And I call this the fuel continuum, right? Or a dietary continuum, or a energy continuum, all right? There's two macros that provide energy when it comes to nutrition. We have carbohydrates and we have fat. And I want you to think about that being on opposite ends of the spectrum. We have, say, carbs on the left side of the spectrum, and we have fat on the right side of the spectrum. These two fuels, right, can be mixed, and obviously will be mixed together depending on the occasion or depending on the food. But ultimately, putting them together, right, which will be in the middle of the spectrum. We have high fat on the left and high carb on the right. And we have high fat, high carb right there in the middle of that spectrum or continuum. That's going to equal a calorie surplus. It's too much energy going in at one time, right? Now, so I'm advising you to choose your energy source. What would you like to be your primary energy source? Your lifestyle. What dietary lifestyle would you choose to lead? Is it a carbohydrate energy source lifestyle, or is it a fat energy source style? It's important you choose, and I say you choose that type of dietary habit or that type of lifestyle that is least restrictive to you. For instance, I, at this current point in my journey, prefer to use carbohydrates as my primary energy source. It's easier for me because I like carbohydrates. So for me to prioritize carbohydrates as my energy source, I need to have a lower fat diet, because if I have too high a fat diet and I have too high carbohydrate diet, then I have too much energy going in to the body, which means I'm going to be in a calorie surplus. So pick your side, choose your energy source. So for instance, the left side, let's call it the higher fat side. The primary energy source is fat. That's more things like paleo diet, that's carnivore diet, that's keto, that's South Beach, that's Atkins. Those are higher fat, lower carbohydrate lifestyles or diets, right? On the other side of the spectrum, you're going to have the primary energy source being carbohydrate, okay? This is going to be primarily a vegan or vegetarian or a plant-based type of lifestyle. Now, there's obviously scales of that right side and there's scales of the left side. There's extremes on both ends, and you can play on both sides of or both ends of the spectrum, but how sustainable is that lifestyle? Not very. There's some people that can maintain extreme levels on either side, carnivore on the left and say fruitarian or vegan on the right. I'm not saying either way what my suggestion is there. I'm saying you need to choose what's less restrictive to you. The problem occurs when we start to go to the middle of this spectrum, where it's more of a higher fat, higher carbohydrate diet. This is fast food. This is processed foods. This is convenience foods, foods found in boxes. This is pastries, cookies, cakes. This is the standard American diet. This is high fat, high carbohydrate at the same time. It's a higher energy diet, a energy surplus, a calorie surplus. This is obesity. This is cancer. This is heart disease. This is diabetes. This is degenerative diseases. This is where we don't want to be very often. This is, I would say 10% of your diet. This is where strategically you're going to be utilizing the middle. It's a reunion, it's a wedding, it's a bar mitzvah, it's a special event. It's not where you want to be living or the majority of your eating should not be coming from the middle of this energy spectrum, right? You want to choose a side, and you can dial up or dial down on the left side or the right side. You're going to find your comfort zone for your prioritization of energy. And that's where this conversation is kind of going. I want you to learn what you can achieve long term, what's going to give you the best chance of success, and that's going to be what is least restrictive to you for longevity, to sustain long term. I don't want you to be on a low carb diet if you love carbohydrates, and I don't want you to be on a low fat diet if you love fat, right? You should figure out a way to live your life in that area, because that's gonna make life more enjoyable. Eating should be fun, and I don't want you jumping around from diet to diet. I want you to find a sustainable place to be on this energy spectrum so you can reach your goals and stay there without yo-yoing and jumping from diet to diet. So what is least restrictive to you? Let's talk about me one more time, and then we can relay this to yourself. I prefer more of a higher carbohydrate, lower fat diet. That means I am prioritizing rice, and I'm prioritizing potatoes and oatmeal and bagels. On the weekends, I have pancakes. I eat kind of whatever I want, but I kind of keep my fat a little bit lower so I can keep the physique goals that I am reaching toward and the health goals that I'm reaching for. This is what I enjoy. I enjoy carbohydrates, so I've figured out a way to work them into my diet without going into a calorie surplus. This is how I maintain fairly lower percentage of body fat all year round. I lower my fat and I increase my carbohydrates. I keep my protein high. That never changes. Protein should stay higher, right, for satiety purposes and hormones, and you burn more calories. It's called the thermic effect of food when you eat protein. So I choose to keep my protein high, my carbohydrates higher, and my fat a little bit lower. That's how I'm able to eat whatever I want and stay leaner and keep my weight at a place that I enjoy. All right. So for instance, let's say I am going to go to have pancakes on a Sunday morning, and I do this once a weekend. I usually have pancakes, but let's say I'm eating out. I don't eat out very often, but let's say I'm going out to eat. This is the way I think when I go out to eat. A good example for you. I'm gonna have the blueberry pancakes at this place called Green Street in Coconut Grove. When I go out for pancakes, I like to go to Green Street. They have great blueberry pancakes, and I'm gonna get a stack of them. So that's a higher carbohydrate meal. And so I'm going to have some eggs with that. I need to have protein with that. So I'm going to choose an egg white omelet with some vegetables in it and maybe some ham in it to get a little bit more protein. But I'm going to choose a lower fat protein to go along with that higher carbohydrate option, the pancakes. Now, the waitress is definitely going to ask me, hey, would you like the home fries with or grits with that? And I'm going to say, no, thank you. I have the pancakes. And then they're going to ask me if I would like, which type of bread I would like, wheat, rye, or white bread with that. And I'm going to say, no, thank you. I have the pancakes. So I'm going to simply have my stack of pancakes with my egg white omelet. Do you understand that? I'm not going to have a regular omelet because that's going to be a higher fat choice. So I don't want to have high fat and high carbohydrate at the same time. Just like I'm not going to have more carbohydrate with the egg whites, I've already have the pancakes. I'm trying to stay within my calorie limits for that day. You guys understand that? I want you to understand you can't have it all. The same thing happens when I go out to dinner. I'm usually going to look at the dessert menu first because I like dessert. I enjoy dessert. I'm going to have it once or twice a month. So if I go out to eat, I'm going to check the dessert menu because it's going to dictate what I have for dinner. So on the menu I find bread pudding on the menu. I love bread pudding. I love cheesecake. I like these things. But let's just say it's bread pudding. I'm going to have the bread pudding. And that's going to dictate what I have for the rest of my meal. So I don't drink alcohol, so that's perfectly fine, but I'm not going to have an appetizer knowing I have bread pudding. I'm probably going to choose for my entree some sort of a lower fat fish and vegetable combination. I want to go a little lower fat, high protein, lower fat option so I can indulge into my bread pudding at the end of my meal. I'm not going to have wine, bread and butter, a ribeye steak with some macaroni and cheese, and the bread pudding, okay? We have to make sacrifices in life, and especially if you want to reach a specific type of physique look or goal. You can't have it all. You can strategically kind of flexible diet like I do. You can have that ribeye and macaroni and cheese sometimes if you want. If you're like, you know what, I'm just going all out, I don't really care tonight, that's fine. You're on vacation, it's a special event, go for it. But it shouldn't be something you have on a regular basis. That's part of your 10, 15 or 20%, right? The other 80 or 90% of your diet should be exactly what I'm talking about: higher protein, lower fat or lower carbohydrate. Like I said, you can have the carbs and fats together sometimes strategically, but it shouldn't be on a regular basis because the goal is health and to lose weight. We want to be in a calorie deficit. And if you have those two energy sources together and you're having the wine, the bread and butter, the ribeye, the macaroni and cheese, and the dessert, you're looking at a massive calorie surplus. And it's going to be very difficult to lose weight when you're taking in that many calories. So I'm trying to illustrate how you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. I want you to enjoy food. I want you to be social and enjoy your friends and family. And I also want you to have some things that aren't necessarily on the healthy end of the spectrum, right? There is no necessarily a good or bad food. Can you fit it into your calories for that particular day? And you can. I've done it. You can flexible diet and have those things like bagels or bread or oatmeal or pancakes or the dessert 2 or 3 times a month, and it fits into your 10 or 20%. You're going to eat real food, right? Strategically, the other 90, 85, 90, 95%. And strategically, you're going to use that 5 or 10% to have whatever you want. It's not really going to affect your physique goals nor your health. So that's kind of where I wanted to go with this particular talk. I want to give you these strategies along with that the other strategy I just talked about, which is the dials and lever theory, where you're kind of dialing up and dialing down, pulling certain levers for particular goals, and you're utilizing this energy spectrum we just talked about: higher fat, higher carbohydrate, and you're once again choosing a side. I want you to choose a side that's less restrictive to you, and then you scale around the extremes of each end. And sometimes you come in the middle on special occasions. I hope you understand the concept I'm trying to get through to you. I want to give you the tools and give you the habits and give you the routines and provide you the structure and the strategies so you can finally reach the goals you're looking for and sustainably maintain them forever instead of going backwards. I want you to finally empower yourself. I want to empower you to have everything you want and be in total control of your weight and your health at all times. That's the goal here. That's the goal with the 30-day summer slim down jumpstart challenge. It's coming up. My seminar is on May 18th. I hope to see you there. If you have any questions about what I'm talking about now or the seminar, please leave them below, and I hope to see you soon.